In this video, I'm going to talk about how to draw a ray diagram for a flat mirror. So let's add the letter K here. Use the letter K as my object. And I'm going to concentrate on this little point right there. So say a light ray comes in from the sun or from a light in the room, hits the letter K, and that light ray hits and bounces off in this direction. That's a incident ray. And then again, if I draw a normal line that's perpendicular to the mirror, the angle of incidence should be equal to the angle of reflection, so it should bounce off at equal angles like that. And let's say that I have another light ray that hits the letter K, and it bounces off the letter K, hits the mirror, and using the same analysis, bounces off at this angle, so that the angle of incidence is equal to the angle of reflection. Well, your eye doesn't know where these came from. It doesn't know that there was a mirror here and it bounced off. All it knows is that there are two rays that came from somewhere, and it believes that if I trace those light rays backward, that it actually came from this spot right there. And if I draw this to scale, it's slightly off. The distance from this point to the mirror is equal to this distance to the mirror. That's why when you look in a mirror, you look like as if you are the same distance in the mirror as you are away from the mirror. So that's this point right there. What I basically did was I took two light rays that reflected off of K, reflected them off the mirror, and then drew their extensions back into the mirror because that's where your brain thinks they came from. If I take different points like this point here and perform the same analysis, which I won't do because there's going to be lots of lines here, it would actually appear further back. I'll make a little triangle. That's this triangle right here. Okay. If I were to take this point, I'll use a square. That would appear here. If I chose this point, I'll make an X. It would appear back here. And if I choose this point, I'll draw the circle. That would appear here. So basically your eye would form an image of a backward K. It would appear the same size. It would appear the same distance in the mirror as away from the mirror. And you could perform the same analysis to all these points. Trace back the reflected rays to determine where your eye thinks they came from. So that's a procedure you would use to draw a ray diagram for a flat mirror.